What do you make of that? Is it
You know what it
cringe?
reminds me of is Rush Hour when Chris Tucker was bringing Jackie Chan in L.A. and he brings him to Chinatown or whatever and goes, just like home, isn't it? Just like home.
Yeah, it may at some point, I'm wondering if the kid doesn't go, from Washington State, right? You coulda, brought me a Starbucks. Hey, folks, welcome back here to Ohio State Football with Scarlet and Great, or the Scarlet and Great podcast, as those of you who are listening on the audio file. This is Johnny Bullitt and my co-host, Florida Corey Thompson. As you guys have noticed, I am back. Corey has been mentioning that I was gone and I'd be back in a while, and I am. I'm back now. It's surreal. It's been a lot, Corey, a lot of stuff we won't get into because fans don't care about that. We'll get into that on a later date where I've been, but I'm back now. I'm thrilled to be here with you, and we have something huge to talk about. Guys, please like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below what you think of this huge visit. JT Tuimoloau. Oh.
Tamale.
Nah, we can't do that. You were chastised. You were chastised last video when you just sound it out. What school did you go to where you sounded those words out?
It had to be a Hawaiian school.
Yeah. Tuimoloau, something along those. We don't mean any disrespect. We're just uncultured and Polynesian names. And Corey, speaking of uncultured, let's get right into it. We are Ohio. You have a Central Ohio school hosting this guy, rolling out the red carpet because Bama gets the last word. I have no reason to think that Ohio State is not absolutely crushing this visit as we speak, as we record it. Sure, the family's with him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Family is good. He is being treated well.
I don't know if it's all the whole, how people like the extended family and things like
Right.
that. Like I got my brother's sisters, dog walkers, chefs
Right.
and whatever.
I met this girl on care.com. She's been a good babysitter. No, but I'm sure that everybody, the time is good. The educational visits are good.
And now the NIL presentations apparently are really good.
Well, I'm sure Ohio State's doing their due diligence. The weight room visits are great. I am sure the one-on-one, Larry Johnson teaching him pinky placement that he never even thought of before, and defensive line, all that is fantastic. The home away from home, the Ohio State Parents Association, all that's going well. But going back to being uncultured, Corey, I mean, Ryan Day and company basically did a luau and slaughtered a pig at the airport. It shows up in Hawaiian shirts, right? They did
a haiku dance, yes.
Right. You had everything short of the cheerleaders in grass skirts right there. I'm just, what do you make of that? Is it cringe?
You know what it reminds me of is Rush Hour when Chris Tucker was bringing Jackie Chan in L.A. and he brings him to Chinatown or whatever and goes, just like home, isn't it? Just like home.
Yeah, at some point, I'm wondering if the kid doesn't go, from Washington State, right? You could have brought me a Starbucks. Right. No, I mean, I imagine Ohio State did their due diligence. I know the shirts could have been a nice surprise, but I think they probably checked with someone hey, is this cool?
Oh, I mean, Pantone's not an idiot,
Right. You can't, because you can be patronizing with this pretty quick if you don't get the right approval, right?
Well, yeah. What if he just shows up and says, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, would you recruit a Hispanic recruit and show up in that sombrero? Yeah, show up with a sombrero. If he thought it was cool, it's cool. If not,
I think it goes to kind of like the alternate jerseys, man. Sometimes we look at these alternate jerseys and go, I don't get it, but then we see these kids posing in them constantly when they come and visit. So it's well, there's something to it. Yeah, you're right. There's no way that Ryan Day and company would do anything that would even be misunderstood as offensive. or anything like that. They literally honestly, it wouldn't even shock me. It's either one or two things. Either he's extremely into his culture, right? He's just extremely into it. So they know that, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to show him how much we respect his culture. Or they did it almost as like a joke. That's just like, we love you so much, we're willing to kind of make fools of ourselves.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I wonder which one of those it is, because, like I said, it could be boom or bust. I think you have to. You see him laughing and smiling at the airport, like you would think if it was like a cringe moment, he would be so taken back he couldn't even hide it. So I think we're good there. But it was something I wanted to discuss because I was like, this could get really weird really quick. Like, it's one of those things. I could see like myself doing something like this in my younger days and missing on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like when you're meeting a pretty girl for the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, I heard you like flowers. So I bought 2,000 of them, and
yeah, exactly.
Now I look like a creep.
Or hey, she's like Hispanic, like you said, and I'm dating a Hispanic girl. I bought her a bunch of tamales. I thought she would like that,
I show up in a sombrero, and you're just like, I didn't mean to be offensive, but here I am being wildly offensive. And fair enough, right?
And then you just start talking to her about the Speedy Gonzalez cartoons and stuff.
Right. You can see how it gets out of hand quickly. And so I hope that it's like what you said. It's odd to me. It's just, we're rolling out the red carpet because, one, we love you and we've always won. We felt like we were kind of first place in each other's hearts, but we understand Bama's looming and they're a formidable opponent. But we want to roll out the red carpet for you and show you that it almost screamed to me like pandering to a kid, which I don't know how much is acceptable and how much isn't. Like, when I was a recruiter in the Navy, Corey, I always felt like I was on that fine line. Like, am I kissing up to this kid just because my life's going to be a lot easier if he ends up doing what I want him to do? Like, at the end of the day,
every coach, it's like, how do I make millions? This kid comes to my school and plays well,
Right. And then I think the appropriate balance to that is you just do coaching clinics with LJ, because he can't. There's an alpha in the room. The alpha should always be the coach. There's a kid and there's an adult. You are pandering to the kid a little bit to get him to come. But in a coaching thing, JT would never believe that he is the alpha when it comes to coaching clinic, right? With LJ. So I think that's a good way to balance it. So, Corey, right now, there's just speculation is, how is this going and how is this going to compare when he goes sees the Titan to the south? And I believe that we're going to do everything in our power, and we're not going to screw anything up really. If the shirts didn't do it, I don't think we're going to screw it up.
The only thing we're going to screw up is we're not coming with the right car like Alabama will.
Right, sure. Well, or if we are, it's just like we no, we don't do cars. We'll have a booster, like hide something in your locker, like, geez, like normal. No,
see, Saban will drive a Maserati up to him,
Right. He's like, last guy who videotaped me did this end up dead. So,
He still can't find his wife. Yeah.
Right. Nick Saban's like the Clintons of.
Oh, man.
Okay. But I have no reason to believe we don't crush this. But I also have no reason to believe that Bama doesn't as well. So let's take with 5 minutes and let's talk about that dynamic. Everybody knows that LJ is fantastic. So how does that sound when LJ, you take the side of Larry Johnson and Ohio State and the fans and say, this is why this place is home for you and this is where you need to come?
Yeah, if I'm Larry Johnson, I just got to point to the 3 contracts of Chase Young, Nick Bosa, and Joey Bosa, especially Joey, who just got $135 million. These are franchise-type players. And I can look and say, look, you're on that level. You're a 5-star kid who's a game changer. I don't even need to compare you to the other kids I put in the NFL, like Jermani Jones. I keep saying his name wrong, Jermon Jones, Devon Hamilton, just Tamba Ali, just throughout the years, he's just put so many people in the NFL. whether they were 3, 4, whatever stars. But JTT figures to be on that Bosa Young level, even Jack Sawyer level, because we know Jack Sawyer, once he's done, is going top 5.
Right.
And then he says, look, that's another thing he can talk about too. Like, not only do I get 5-star talent, and I know people like to think like Tuimoloau Adelie likes to say, well, you just get a 5-star kid, you're fine. No.
Right.
You got to develop them a little bit.
Or Sean Gary would like a word.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, it's only been year 7 now. He's finally starting to develop. So anyway, that being said, I mean, then you talk to JTT and say, look, you see this other guy named Jack Sawyer? You two are going to be bookends here in a year or two. And it's going to make you both look even better. It's going to make you both even more money. And not only that, but we are in Columbus, where you can make a lot of money off of the new NIL standards and whatnot. So that would be mine. Is like, look, I understand. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth Bama, because there's really nothing to badmouth. And I understand you go there and you will probably get to the NFL. But here, I have a proven track record of developing top tier talent into top 5 picks. Not only top 5 picks, but ready to be defensive rookie of the year type talent, and to make that second contract very easily and be franchise type players. And I'm sorry, Bama really does not. But they do win that college football championships. I'm not going to take that away from Bama. They do put people in the NFL that are good players. I'm not taking that away, but you can't compare anything to Larry Johnson's track record right now at your position.
Sure. Yeah, Larry Johnson, like with the 3 names you named right now, is the hot name in defensive ends of all things, defensive ends.
That's what they're bringing him here for.
Yep. So if I'm Nick Saban, I would probably say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, eeny, meeny, miny. With you, probably mo. I am the only coach that can guarantee you a national title. Ohio State is coming up on a decade. By the time you graduate, it will be a decade since their last title. They just challenged me for one. I killed them before halftime. You want to talk about development? You tell me those 3 guys you just named don't come to Alabama and get top 5 contracts? They absolutely do. Furthermore, look at who I have developed in my stable of coaches on the defensive line, Quinnen Williams, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, you're not going to have to split sack numbers with a guy like Jack Sawyer. You're going to play with good guys and earn your spot. But you're going to be the man here in this class. And also, you're going to go up against talent. Bar none, Alabama puts out the best offensive linemen year after year, especially on the end. You're going to go up against the best talent ever. And when it comes to, you want to say the other guy just develops defensive lines better than me. We just played each other on the field, and one defensive line was extremely disruptive and another was not. Get out of my office.
Tell the kid to get out of your office. I'm not wearing a stupid shirt.
Yeah. Like, I'm wearing the same shirt I always wear. I'm wearing the same hat I always wear. This is my program. This is my program shirt. This is my program hat. I'm gonna hit this door, and the button's gonna open. Remember Nick Joey's like, he's got a door. You know what I mean? Hits the door. Get out of my office. The point is, both can make really compelling arguments, and it's where's home. Right
now, I do think Ohio State is home for him because of his relationship with Larry Johnson.
And weren't we kind of first love?
Yeah. Well, that's the point, though, is, and I'm trying to tell people who are arguing with me about this on Twitter, I do agree Nick Saban, no matter what, last visit is extremely formidable. This isn't like,
you got to put eye drops in his water or something, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's not like, it's like Washington's last visit. I'd be like, who cares, but it's Saban. And as much as I'm tearing down some of the things about Saban, I'd have I have an intense amount of respect for Nick freaking Saban. I consider him the GOAT of coaches. Right. I just do.
Anyone with a brain does.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude's got 7 titles. All right, you're the GOAT. I have nothing but respect for Saban and what he's done in Alabama. I mean, we take jabs, but that's just being a fan. But I absolutely think Larry Johnson's one of the greatest defensive line coaches ever. and he's almost making $1 million a year, and he's worth every bit of it. I'm okay with paying coordinators millions. Position coaches, I get a little like, okay. But Larry is one of those guys you're like, yeah, $1 million, don't care. He's worth every penny.
That all? Like, that it?
Yeah, it's like, give him a blank check. But there is one question that both of them, Johnny, are going to have to answer, is who's going to retire first. Because they're both getting up there. Now, Nick Saban just signed an extension to 2024 because he wants to play us.
No, 2028.
Oh, it's 28. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because of what you just said. He's got a home and home with us. He wants to troll us one last time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually impressed he's going to come up to Columbus. But anyway, that being said, Larry's 68, 69, and is he going to be now? I've noticed. I don't think Larry's recruiting as hard as he used to, because I don't think he has to. And I think a lot of people try to cover him a little bit. They're trying to put as less wear and tear on him as much as humanly possible.
Well, yeah, and you have Combs, who just doesn't get tired, so that's a good spell. And he's a defensive side, so he can spell it. And like you said, he doesn't have to beat the streets as much as he used to. Like when you get in front of him and he coaches you up, you've seen little snippets of his. He's got that Jeff Hafley type of. Jeff Hafley's magnetic when he talks. Yep. Larry Johnson's magnetic when he coaches. You can tell he's just in his. He's not putting on a front. He's not trying to be smartest guy in the room. He's just like, he knows what he's talking about, and and there's comfort with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just so drawn to like everything he says, and I'm sure the kids feel that it's genuine. You cannot fake that. So
he's like a papa. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's going to be a compelling argument, and I appreciate, jokes aside, we do appreciate what, the staff's doing to try to lure this kid. They're not resting on their laurels of that we have a great relationship with him. They're going all out for him. I do have one question. I wonder how other recruits look at this, like, geez, I mean, I know this kid's good, but
what? Yeah, like Henry T, like, am I not Polynesian? Paleo, I just did it. We just had a video uploaded on him here. Sometime it'll come, like, he transferred without the, you know what I mean? But you wonder kind of who is like, hey, am I that low in the pecking order?
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of that, Corey,
it's a little bit Frank Cushman and Rod Tidwell and Show Me the Money, if you've seen that movie.
It is, man, you always go with the 90s throwbacks on me.
Well, if you've seen Jerry Maguire, not Show Me the Money.
Yeah, okay.
What the heck am I thinking? But no, it's an iconic scene, obviously. But no, it's Rod Tidwell's trying to get in the shunning treatment, and Frank Cushman, everybody's around him. It's like, he sees 3 stars, it's like, oh, you loving me now, right? If JTT goes to Bama.
Yeah, right. I think, but again, they understand the game. So, and I don't know that this happens, Corey, if there wasn't this whole like 3 or 4 month delay before he took his visits, COVID, all that. Like, I think if he just took his visits in March, you're right. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Trying to close.
Right. Somebody might have had a Hawaiian shirt on, but I don't think it'd have been like, like I said, the dead pig at the airport. Like, like I think we violated like
the 19 dance was a little bit much.
Yeah. Violating 19 TSA laws for the kid. And like the wine's like, well, nope. And that didn't happen.
But does he have COVID?
Right. Right. Real quick, Corey, before we go, commitment watch.
Yes. Running back from Memphis, Tennessee, Dallin Hayden. Commitment watch officially. Number 1 running back target for Ohio State. He just finished his visit, I think, and let's just say you could see that boom happen at any time.
I love it. Early fireworks, 4th of July coming, more booms going off. Corey, it's been fun. We'll have to do this again soon.
I guess we can do it again at some point.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Comment below what you think happens. Where do you think the guy lands, Alabama or Ohio State? As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.